Morocco has a good experience in evaluation. Actually, we started in 2006 with the creation of the National Observatory for Human Development. This institution is an independent institution, and its main objective is to evaluate government policies on human development especially. Of course, we have developed a lot of tools, many tools, as the impact study tools. We developed an information system too, with a geographic information system that collects all data that are provided by the other department or the private sector or other institutions. We have a household panel also of 8,000 families that we use to survey each year. And all of this gives us a very important set of information that we decline in with different indicators actually. More than 132 indicators. All these elements now start to be used by the government, but also by the parliament and by citizens too, as the system is open. So we have this experience. Now what is new is that SDGs. SDGs are coming with their own indicators. If I remember, it's about 229 indicators. So we have to adapt this indicator to the context of the country, of course. That is very important. And the second thing that we have to do is to try to find out some aggregates, very simple, to read by citizens and by the stakeholders. That is very important. But what I can say is that the executive in Morocco is very interested in the achievement of the goals of the SDGs. That is important. And of course, if we don't have a credible evaluation, I think without credibility, there is no achievement. I think it's very important to have a system that gives exactly the right metrics, the right measure, and make people know exactly what is going on. So it means also that the systems have to be a system that gives statistics, of course, but you have to be also able to give the evolution, the dynamics of the changes that are happening. So the importance of using the system for impact studies too, and see exactly what the policies that are in fact doing well and the others that don't seem to go on the right track. I think that is also very important. I think that for a long time, importance was given to what was investment, what was his financial, what are the growth and things like that. But I think in the future, we'll be giving more importance to the social aspects, to the development aspect, to the sustainability. I think that elements are more important for people. And if we look to the SDGs, we say that if we don't want to have people left behind, it's exactly in this area that we have to make most progress, more progress in the future. So I think that the evaluation have to develop tools, not only to evaluate and give some indicators to the decision makers, but they have to also work on tools for analysis, going beyond the indicators, trying to understand why it's a success, why it's a failure, and to understand the complex problems that are linked to social development. I think that perhaps will be the right way to work in the future for evaluation, and to give to it something important. It means a place that will probably provide to evaluation the importance that statistics used to have some 20 or 30 years ago. Yes, I think that when we talk about the social development, I think that equity is an element that is important. First, I think that we should first try to explain to people the difference between equality and equity. Of course, in decision making, of course, The reason is, if we don't do that, there is some kind of mistakes that may happen. And of course, the instruments of measures that we will have will not be giving the right answer. Equity means that if we want equity, it means that we have going to have policies that perhaps may be shocking for some people. It means, for example, that I have to invest more in for people who need than I'm investing for the others. If I take the example of education, I know that in the rural area education is not performing well, so I have to decide that in the budget of my ministry I will give more money to the rural areas than I will give to the cities. So in somehow there is some inequity in some time, and there equity in the other side. If I was equal, it means I will give in to them the same amount. And at this moment I will not, of course, reduce inequity. So I think that we have to explain to this, because politically it is difficult to people to accept the fact that I will be investing for these people, for this region, for this community more than for the others. Equality will mean that I will give the same amount to everybody. That is very important. Now coming to the people with specific problems, I think that, of course, disabled people, there is the issue of gender and so on. We need policies that go in the way I would describe. I think we have to do more for them, and that it's very important. But of course, when measuring, we have to make evaluation, but we have to understand what the impact of our policy is. And it means that we have to develop tools for studying the impacts, and of course coming with these results on a regular basis to make people know the progress that we are achieving. It's something important, but the impact, well, is something that you cannot measure very quickly. To know if a policy is a good policy, you need at least 3, 4, 5 years to see exactly what is happening. And you know, the agenda for a government is generally 5 years. So it means for the politicians, they want policies that have results very quickly to prepare the next elections. So it means that here we have a kind of contradiction between what is the social demand for politicians and what the politicians are offering. Evaluation is also to make the measure and make the people understand that they have to have projects that go beyond 5 years, even if they will not be there. But the most important is to be successful. And that, I think, one of the main objectives of SDGs is there. We are working on 50 years. So it means that the agenda for any government have to be established, taking into consideration and committing the government with SDGs. The Constitution has established many of the objectives of the SDGs as rights. And we are asked, as observatory, well, to look to the way the government is implementing programs that, in fact, should give to the people the rights to education, rights to healthcare, rights to whatever, to have a job, to have a work, and so on. So I think that this now is something that the governments and I think the citizens have understood. Now the tools exist. We have information systems, we have all kind of programs that may give us evidence of what is happening. The difficulty is how to manage between something that you feel that you are obliged to accept and something that perhaps you would not like to know. That is the right question. And sometimes we see these difficulties. We're coming with some indicators that are not good. And at this moment, you have people that the first say, they say, oh, no, the data were not good, your survey was not correct, and things like that. So putting some kind of, pessimistic approach of the tools you are using, saying no, they are not good tools and so on. So I think that here you have to make sure that your tools, the way you are using, the methods you are using are internationally approved, that they are very robust, and at this time you can be able to prove that what you find is the evidence. And when you are able to do that, they will accept it because you have the government, you have the parliament, and so on. So if all these people are in some sense sensitized to the approach of evaluation, I think it makes this kind of, of balance between the one who like and the one who dislike. So that it's policy is like this.